Hey, who everyone, we are back on our actual fucking page because I'm a moron and I'm really sorry. Don't hate me. I mean, go ahead and hate me. I don't really fucking care that much. To reiterate, grass allergies, life sucks. I actually found some allergy medicine upstairs though. I'm really hoping it kicks in like any fucking time now.
Well, there you go, man. There you go.
So, Johnny.
Yes, sir.
Please start over and tell everyone who you are.
Thanks again for having me on the show, Drunk and Disorderly. I love the title of the show. It's right up my alley in regards to my lifestyle. And I just want to say, I do a podcast called Blast Off with Johnny Rocket, and it's on every Friday on the Launchpad Media. I'm the president of Launchpad Media, as always, me and Alexander Meyer. And I do, a podcast with Raylene Lightheart called Blast Off. And I've been doing Liberty things for a long time. I'm Region 1 alternate for the LNC. And I'm also married to presidential candidate Kim Ruff.
And that's pretty recent, right? You guys, that's only a few months old.
Yeah, that is true. That is pretty recent. We didn't... it was April 13th we got married. So it's been, we're newlyweds and we're having fun. She's doing her campaign and I'm doing what I'm doing. And it's been pretty fun so far. We've had no fights whatsoever. So like, why didn't you wipe down the goddamn counter, you jackass? And other than that, it's pretty good.
Well, the way you guys got together was pretty cool. I kind of saw it unfold over social media. You guys ran into each other at a convention or something?
No, actually, she was on my show and she was a guest, and it's actually a really good love story. And I got we did an interview and she was just like bubbly and sparkling all over the screen. And I was smiling, and I get off the phone, or we get done with the interview, and I tell Raylene, my co-host, I'm like, I'm going to marry her. And everyone's like, okay, whatever, dude, whatever. And so then I called up my producer. I'm like, dude, I'm going to marry her. And he's like, yeah, whatever, dude. So then we started talking on the phone, and it just hit off. We just hit it off so well. And I flew out to Phoenix a few times, and we hung out. And it was just magic. It was chemistry. I have had the most amazing time with this woman. And like, who she is exactly who she is. There is no like false, like she's not putting up a front of any sort. She's just awesome. So yeah, it was definitely a long distance love story. And so I just moved out to here, and I said, fuck it. I quit my job and moved out here, and now I'm doing radio out here and doing voiceover work, and here I am.
I have no bias. Like, I love Kim, and that's not coming from truly not coming from a biased place. We've been friends for a really long time, and I love what she's doing. I've always loved what she's doing. She's just really, really genuine.
That's true. Yeah, absolutely. And so, like, we started, talking to each other, and she's just brilliant. And so we just sit there for hours every night, guys, and we'll just talk about ideas about liberty, and we'll discuss it. And sometimes, I think for the most part, we agree on 99% of things. There's a couple things that we agree on, but they're like minutia stuff. Like, how can we, what's the strategy versus the actual principle? So
that's very cool.
So Kim really is kind of a libertarian Rosie the Riveter.
She is.
If you were to create your own kind of Americana persona, something that ties into that, what would that be? Would you be like the Uncle Sam we should have had?
I don't know. I'm just, again, I'm an anarchist, but I believe in, here's the thing. I think a lot of people get confused with the terms, like, because a lot of people right now with her campaign are thinking that she's like a pragmatist. And she kind of is, because she's like with the Constitution. She's trying to adhere to that. But at the same time, she's really not. She's an anarchist. But it's funny, we have to start somewhere, and we can't just be like, fuck the state, fuck you guys. You guys are all stupid. We can't do that to appeal to the actual normal person, walking down the street and I use the example of like soccer mom Cindy. You know, like if you start saying shit like that, they're going to think you're crazy and you're not going to get any support. But no, she's running a great campaign. I love her strategy, and I'm just happy. It's funny though, we have a weird lifestyle because, you know, she does her campaign stuff over here, and I'm like doing my radio shit over here, and we just like kind of every once in a while banter across the room. So, you know, we might as well be texting each other across the room sometimes. Absolutely ridiculous, but no, it's great. It's great, and she is everything that, you know, what you see is what you get, because that is really who she is.
So, you know, Johnny, as you're an anarchist and a radical, Ken's an anarchist and a radical, I'm kind of an anarchist and a radical. For me, and I'm kind of interested in your take on this, for me, like I get so frustrated when people hear, oh, you're a radical, you're an anarchist. They get it in their head that you are anti any incremental anything, you're anti any pragmatic approaches. And that's just not true.
No, that's not true. A lot of people think pragmatism. See, to me, radicalism is actually just means the root of the issue, the root of the coreness of of libertarianism or whatever you're into. It means like the actual principles of that. Pragmatism isn't pragmatism. It's bootlicking bullshit. When somebody says I'm a pragmatist, I'm like, what new government policy are you going to implement today? Right. So that is pragmatism to me. How can we use the state to create more laws to give you your liberty? Or I'm like, let's get rid of the state. We don't need the state to give us liberty. We already have it. So we're shooting ourselves in the foot when we're supporting these so-called pragmatists. No, it's bullshit. You know, and I get angry every time I hear somebody say, you know, I'm a pragmatist. Okay, fine. Define it for me. Because if you want to bring the state back in incremental steps, you're really a fucking radical. So why don't you fess up and join our fucking crew and let's fucking conquer the state. But let's, you know, but at the same time, we have to do it incrementally. And I think we do need to do it incrementally because we can't do it overnight.
I think the better terms, and I heard this on Dave Rubin, actually, when he had one of the ANCAPs from Learn Liberty on, is they were talking about it's destinational libertarianism versus directional libertarianism. Like, are you moving in the direction or are you only after the destination?
Right. And was that Brian Kaplan? Was he economist?
It might have been.
Wow.
It sounds about right.
They have glasses?
I think so.
Yeah, Brian Kaplan. I'm pretty sure. But yeah, that's the thing. Like, that's the catch. We need to be moving in that direction. We can't be moving for more laws. And I'm going to bring up a topic and maybe we could discuss it. UBI. I just had a guest on who wrote a book on UBI, Anthony Samaroff, and he's part of the Scottish Libertarian podcast. And he wrote a book and it was great. It brings up both points for and against UBI. And at the end, he's like, I'm really against it. And I was just thinking, what do you guys think? I don't know. I'm not hosting the show. I'm just bringing up topics.
I'm not against the idealism behind it, right?
Right.
The idealism behind universal basic income is everybody gets to live with some afforded measure of dignity, right? It's really about dignity. It's not about equalization. It's about whatever you require to have a specific amount of human dignity. We all want that. The problem for me with universal basic income, with medical care for all, not medical access for all, because I already think we should already fucking have that, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
For me, it's about access, but this medical coverage is that you have to use force to harm someone else in order to implement that.
I get you.
That's the deal breaker, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's exactly where I stand on it. It's got to come from somewhere, and it's not going to come from the government, because the government takes everything it gets from the people. Hence us. No, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
For me, it boils down to, if I thought the government could pull it off, I would be more open to the idea. But we all know that's not going to fucking happen.
Right.
My major problem is, where do we draw the line?
Right.
And that's a positive right. So we talk about negative rights and positive rights on our show a lot. And negative rights are rights that nobody's obligated to give you anything for. So you inherently have them, like the right to own a weapon. doesn't mean that the government needs to provide one for you, but it means that you have that natural right to own a weapon. You have the natural right to choose what you want to choose. That's a negative right. A positive right is somebody is acting on your behalf. And so, for example, like the Miranda rights, which I have a problem with, you have the right to an attorney. And if you cannot afford one will be provided to you. Who's paying for that? Bullshit. If you were smart enough, you would have your own goddamn little savings account for, oh shit, I need a lawyer. Right. So again, it's up to the individual to be responsible and to take care of himself. And again, where do we draw the line with UBI? What's fair? It's same thing with minimum wage. Where do we draw the line? $15 an hour, $20 an hour, $100 an hour. Doesn't matter. You might do zero in the economy.
Look, you might get me to support minimum wage, at least for a little while, if we put our congressmen and senators on minimum wage.
Well, that will never happen.
Exactly. If you want to make that jump, I might be willing to live with minimum wage laws for just a little bit longer. I mean, eventually I'm still coming after them, but I could certainly shift my focus to something else for the next couple of years. We're going to put Congress and the Senate on minimum wage, so I'm cool with that. But otherwise, come on. We are saying just by electing these officials and paying them what we're paying them and pensions for the rest of their life, we are already saying that people are being paid based on merit, and we're okay with that. Mm-hmm. So either we're okay with paying people based on merit and based on, our own financial ability, or we want everybody to have this mandated minimum government wage. And if that's what we're going to do, that has to apply to everybody. That's my other problem with things like UBI and minimum wage is that it's not even across the board, right? It's not, there's no equalization. And for me, all of these things, when we talk about the right to true marriage equality that we don't have yet, right? And the right to try and the right to use heroin and the right for sex workers to work. To me, that all comes down to the dignity thing again, right? As human beings, all we're looking to do is achieve a certain measure of dignity in our own lives. And if you're going to do that by being a sex worker, then by God, have at it, right?
Yeah, but that's a negative right. You're not hurting anyone. That's voluntary. Right. No one's hurting anyone else in that situation, right? So how is that a crime if it's voluntary? No one's hurting anyone.
So real quick, two things. One, Justin O'Donnell saying, talking about Congress trying to give themselves a raise. I did hear at like 3:00 today that got shot down after a lot of backlash, and that your girl AOC was rather pissed off about that. Also, just to throw this out there.
She's pissed off about it now. She's pissed off about Congress trying to give themselves a raise, right? But
she's pissed off about not getting a raise.
Not getting a raise, right? Because look, wasn't it
300% raise a couple months ago? What is she talking about?
Look, but wasn't it just like a few months ago that she was saying, "Oh, I'm shocked that I can't afford an apartment."
Where?
Like lower your fucking living standards, chick, because we know people who live in DC and in that area who make way less money than she does, who have decent, nice, comfortable, pretty, cute little apartments and stuff. Like,
that's your lifestyle.
What kind of apartment does she want? She wants something with a doorman and a masseuse and, I don't know, some guy.
Well, that's what
guy to carry her down the stairs.
I know she'd like to claim she's Jenny from the block, but she grew up with all that shit.
Right.
So part two of what I was going to say, Thursday at 7:30 Central, 8:30 Eastern, Justin and I are going to sit down and talk about this stupid fucking parade thing. Erin's supposed to come. Erin hasn't confirmed yet. I don't know if she saw the message, but
yeah, it'll depend on my work schedule. I started a new job today, so I don't know what that's going to be.
So that'll be Thursday. I hate all of you for making me talk about this. I hate that issue.
Nobody's making you. I put a gun.
No. Look, it's basically like guns were put to my head.
I'm avoiding it. Okay.
I'm butt mad that this is boiled over in the LP of all places. Like the one place this shouldn't even be a fucking conversation. I feel like.
So, like, let the cat out of the bag. What's this parade? What are we talking about?
Okay, it's the Straight Pride Parade.
Okay.
I'm serious.
Look, here's the thing. Can we all agree that you can't be straight in a parade? Like it's a parade.
Yeah.
Low hanging fruit.
That's
Sue
true.
me.
That's true. No, you're right, man. And I don't, but here's the thing. I mean, people, again, they should have the right to have a straight pride parade. It's a freedom of expression. I mean, if you don't want to go to it, don't go to it. Don't support it.
Look, here's my thing. If you think that all the people participating are bigoted or hate mongering or whatever, and I promise you, they're probably not. It's very rarely always or never, right?
I agree.
But if that's what you think, you're certainly entitled to all of your own feelings and emotions. Doesn't this make it easier for you to go, oh wow, those are the types of people I don't want to hang out with? Like, aren't you
This is
glad
exactly the
for
article that Vice released last year. Like, let them do it. Then we know who the bigots. Which I agree. I think most of these people are internet trolls in the real world, and when this blew up, it just gave them exactly what they wanted.
See, I don't. We talk about it more on Thursday, but I don't. I think there are some people who are there for their own legitimate reasons. That
right. There's legitimate people, and there's also, I think a lot of it is trolls, but not all. Not even a majority, but you're going to see a lot of the 4chan troll army is going to be there.
Sure, but the 4chan troll army shows up to everything.
Right. Which,
Really? They crawl out their basement?
Oh, they'll show up to the opening of a landfill, man.
But that's like saying,
okay.
but that's like saying I go to a gay pride parade because I lived in Seattle for about 15 years. And that's like, because they have it every year. And that's like saying that, yeah, there was like gay people hanging out, doing their thing, but I don't want to go down the street and see a naked dude. And there's like, like 3, like those are like 3, maybe 4. But I'm just saying there's like 4 guys. So you can't blame everybody. I mean, like, people have the right to have a straight pride parade. I think it's great if they want to do it. And I'm not like saying that they're racist or they're bigoted. I just think it's great if straight people can, or gay people can do it, straight people can do it. I don't see a problem.
I mean, and see, that's something we'll talk about on Thursday, but that is kind of the mantra of a lot of people, right? A lot of people think that pride is about individuals of our community flaunting non-normative sexuality. It's not what pride's about. Pride has nothing to do with that.
Exactly.
And that happens sometimes because people finally feel safe, but that's not what pride's about. At the same time, how do you get pissed off at people for not knowing that? Our community, the LGBTQ community, has done a horrible job of explaining to people what pride's about. We have new people, young kids coming out of the closet. Stonewall was a long time ago, guys. They've never heard of it. They don't know what happened at the upstairs lounge. So even for a lot of them, they don't really know what pride's about. And that fault lies on members of the community, like myself.
Well,
right.
So does it? So here's the question. Words, like we always say, words mean things, but sometimes they don't mean the same thing they used to.
Right.
Is the original meaning of pride just not applicable anymore?
No, it's still applicable. We still have transgendered individuals being murdered and committing suicides in crazy high numbers. We still have lesbian couples being assaulted on trains for refusing to make out. No, it's still applicable. We just had the Pulse nightclub shooting. It is certainly still applicable. The problem is we've stopped explaining to people that this is what it's about.
Initial meaning of it. What was the initial? Because I guess I have a loose understanding of what it initially was at the beginning.
Okay, so the first Pride was post Stonewall riots. The first Pride celebration, right, was Gay Freedom Day.
Okay.
It had a lot to do with advancing the conversation past the point of events like Stonewall and the upstairs lounge, and 23 events pre-Stonewall that happened as well. Advancing past murder and torture.
Okay.
To get to a point where we could have an open dialogue and people could start being accepted as people regardless of sexuality, right? That's what it was about. It was about getting that big first step to where things were kind of more open and people could talk, right? So that we didn't have any more Matthew Shepard cases.
Well, I'm going to bring up a point here. Hope you guys don't mind. But like, really, how can you have pride in something that maybe I believe that a lot of people who are homosexuals, they don't make that decision. I think a lot of it is born. I really do. From what I've experienced, I have family members who are homosexual or gay. And I don't have a problem with them. I did when I was a kid because it was such a social like pariah back in the day. But now I don't. But how can you have pride about something that you really have no control over? It's like, I have white pride. What does that mean? Like, what the fuck does that mean? Like,
I have pride.
That's the thing with pride parades. Pride events and Pride Month was a celebration of advancing the dialogue, right? Having pride in the work that everybody had done. But that's not the optic on it, and that's not the visual that goes out. So how do you get pissed off at people for seeing the visual that goes out, seeing the optic that goes out, when we knowing that enough education isn't done? How do you get pissed off at people for seeing what they're seeing? I mean, really.
Well, again, don't go if you don't want to see it, right?
Right.
Like we can go there and say, but the only problem is it boils down to public property, right? So we have a problem with public property. With public property, we can't, like, somebody's always going to be pissed off, right? So if you vote on this, area of land to do this or that, somebody is always going to be upset when you have private or public property, because somebody's always going to get fucked. Right. Whereas if we just privatized everything, then if you want to have a gay pride parade on your street or your area of town or whoever owns what, then there won't be any issues regarding social faux pas. Right.
Right.
So that's my point on that and how we could solve those problems. But regardless, I mean, if you have a problem with it, don't show up. Like I lived in Seattle. Like I said, I was in Capitol Hill, Seattle. And there was gay dudes everywhere. Like, you couldn't go anywhere. Gay dude. And I have no problems with gay dudes, but it's just like, hey, how's it going, buddy? How's it going? Hey, yeah. And I'm walking around my 45 that didn't look cool. Whatever.
Look, it's easy to say don't go, but what if you're a business owner whose business is along that route? You just close for the day or for the month?
You can. Yeah. That's your choice. You chose.
I bet at the first Pride parade, nobody had their dicks out.
No, and realistically, that doesn't happen in every Pride parade. And look, it's so
attached to their clothes or their body all over.
I mean, public obscenity laws still exist. So if somebody's like flashing their junk in a parade, like, come on.
I don't know, but there is some obscenity. There is some obscenity. And like, if you're a parent and you have a 4 or 5 year old kid and you live in that area of town, what do?
I mean, I think there's more obscenity at feminist marches with the vagina hats. But
so that's actually kind of one of the points I want to make about this. And I'll go into it a little bit here. Pride parades, for whatever they started out as, at this point, it's basically like a Black Lives Matter march or a women's march. It is a leftist celebration, to the point where the LP gets told not to show up quite often to these things because we're not left-wing enough, depending on who you ask.
They love us here.
Yeah, so it's like, I understand. I think this is them pushing it back and saying, hey, we're going to have a right-wing march. And that's really more what it's not really about straight. And it's just, this is them triggering the libs, basically. It's about, we are going to have a right-wing march, which is dumb. I think that's dumb. But if you're right-wing, you only have one other thing like this, and that's the March to Life or for Life or the abortion march. So,
I mean, look, really, we're talking about a parade.
Yeah.
Right? Like, parades are fun, cool things to check out. So
if you have a 12-year-old who's going to collect candy from the side of the street, maybe.
Look, they don't. Well, there's all kinds of vendors and get food trucks, and I mean, a parade's a parade.
Okay. Yeah, but I agree with Raptor on the original.
I bring a small child to a Pride parade.
What's that?
I said I wouldn't bring a small child to a Pride parade.
I'm with you.
No,
Not
I wouldn't either.
Yeah, but like again, what if you're a business owner? What if your home is right there on the street that it's happening on?
I mean, how do you avoid that?
How do you avoid it? I don't know. That's the problem with public property. This is the problem with public laws. And this is the problem, the system that we're in already. I mean, if
Christopher Robinson was saying, I was Carrie McKinnon's head writer. We were never asked to go. Is that,
That's
first
Texas.
off, yeah, that was the guy that ran in Texas, right? Wasn't he gay? Like that was kind of the point?
Kerry is the chair of Outright Libertarians.
Right. Okay. So I'm thinking of the right person then. Like they had, okay. It's politics over principle when they do shit like that.
We've never been asked not to go in Oklahoma either. But I think, again, when we're talking politics, the regional influences always affect things differently. So areas tend to lean very left or very right or very conservative or very liberal, right? And it's going to depend on where you're at.
You know what I say? Let's insert ourselves the fuck out of it on both sides. Screw it. We'll pull some people in. The other people that don't like it, fine, whatever. We won't make a nuisance of ourselves. But you know what? I'm going to go where I want to go.
That's right. I think we all have that right to voluntary interaction. Interact where you want to. As long as you're not aggressively harming somebody, I don't care where you interact.
So, Justin, that's really cool that you guys get invited. In Nebraska, there was pushback when the LP tried to get involved.
Mm-hmm. Same in Seattle. So,
look, we don't want to be excluded from things like that. Obviously, those are. I think the LP's position on any of these issues is obviously the right one, but.
I registered my county party.
Yeah, I was actually really surprised that they let you in. Maybe not let you in. Like, it's not like from what I remember a couple years ago, it wasn't that they weren't letting people in. It's that they were just really discouraging libertarian messaging.
I think. Go ahead, Dre. I'm sorry.
No, I got a confirmation email and it said, it wants two things. It wants the name of the organization and a little blurb about us to announce us or whatever during the parade. So once I turn that back in, I guess we'll see, won't we? But this is Nebraska. I mean, everybody's pretty neighborly here regardless. It's just the way it is. Omaha's weird because it is actually slightly more left than right. It's like the only reason 2nd District goes Republican is because Sarpy County is a military installation, basically. But Douglas County is actually significantly more Democrat than Republican.
Yeah. But look at Arizona. Same thing. Arizona, the entire state is red, except for Phoenix.
Right. Yeah. That is like the biggest metropolitan area in a red state is still typically going to be blue. Like Texas, all the big cities are blue, right? Except for
not Oklahoma.
Because Oklahoma is just another level of fucked.
We're just all red, very, very red.
That's true.
And Tennessee is the same way. Like Knoxville's red as fuck. And I don't know about Nashville and Memphis, but I know Knoxville is like, look, Kane got elected in Knoxville. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, in Oklahoma, I think for us, pride has been something that the Oklahoma LP has been involved with for a very, 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 very long time. But the left here is not like the left in Boston or Seattle, right? So, and it's a Republican supermajority. So if you shut libertarians out here, who's supporting you? Like nobody, right? So it's different here, and it's in every state, every region faces that with every issue that we talk about. It doesn't matter what issue it is. I mean, look at Washington, Colorado, all of the states that were way ahead on medical marijuana, on recreational marijuana, right? And then we've got other states that are like, it'll be a cold day in hell when we get the devil lettuce here. So that's just how it goes.
All right, so this link that I just shared, our one of our favorites.
Laura. Hi, Laura.
That is a link to a metal cover of "It's Going to Be Me." I'll tell you what, if we get 50 backers of any kind across any platform, I will sit down with Scott and we will figure out how we can do a cover of that. Because I'm pretty sure he can cover most of the instruments. I can learn the bass part for it. I'll sing it.
He's got a whole studio in his basement. You guys could totally do that.
And you want to see this. You want to see this.
So I'm just saying, like, it's any backer. So 99 cents on our Anchor. You should go do that because we're poor. Look, Erin's not even actually doing marijuana in that. That's like grass. She's just trying to trick herself. That's how poor we are.
It's ragweed,
motherfuckers. It's a
Where to use it?
So that being said, I mean, like, yeah, you're right. I agree. But the thing is the LP in Washington wouldn't allow people. One of the things is we had some gay people in the LP who were part of the Gay Pride Parade Festival Commission that we created. And they went out there and they were packing, and they wanted nothing to do with them. And they pretty much were very hostile to the LP because we were armed. And that's, again, it's their parade or whatever the fuck you want to call it, but it was their gig. And I guess it's a public thing, but at the same time, I can kind of see it, if they don't want to be there for that. I kind of
your inner libertarians coming out. All that anarchist is sneaking out that says you don't have the right to force others to interact with you, right?
That's right. Absolutely. No, it's not inner anarchist. I am an anarchist. I just don't think that people should be. There should be no forced association. If you don't like them, if I don't like you guys or whatever, you guys could tell me to fucking pack sand. I don't give a shit. I'll be like, okay, whatever. I'm sorry. I said something wrong. But like,
too bad though, they were turning down advocates for them, especially ones who could physically, help them out if need be. I hear all this shit about them getting bashed on the way home from these parades. Yeah. What a great, person to walk home with, a guy who has a fucking gun and who is your advocate.
Well, like there's the Pink Pistols. I don't know if you guys have them.
Yeah, Piper's group. So, two things. Christopher, I'm going to answer your question here in just a second. But yeah, Pink Pistols, that's kind of been their line, right? Is armed gays don't get bashed. And they do tons of outreach.
Sorry, I got to jump in for a second. Technical issue. Johnny, do you have two Be Live windows open?
I do.
Okay, so the other one is still streaming to my page. So there are people who are reacting to my page because that is still on there. If you could close that window for
I did.
So it's over here, Johnny.
Is it just like me on your page?
Yes.
So, Christopher, to answer your question, why doesn't the LP do more outreach to LGBTQ communities? We do. We do a ton of outreach to LGBTQ communities. Outright Libertarians is the caucus that does the lion's share of that. And if you want to get involved, we're on Facebook. We have a website. Just Google us. We're out there. We're doing it. We're sending literature and buttons and gates and flags. You'll see them everywhere. If you want one, we've got them.
All right. So I'm going to jump in here for just a second. If you are listening to this on audio, you are about to hear from our sponsor. Please give them some love. They help us afford to do this kind of stuff. We're really trying to incorporate. So give them some love. You're going to hear it right now.